Hey, what's up guys, Auto Fanatics. So today's video is going to be pretty exciting because I've been wanting to do a video on this car for so many years, especially since I took delivery of my very first Alfa Romeo in 2018. This is a 2019 F80 BMW M3 CS. It's a little bit hard to digest, but if anybody knows about the F80, there was a lot of complaints about that car, specifically the heavy overweighted front steering, a little bit erratic handling, and the way the car used to put the power down, it almost wanted to kill you all the time going out of a corner or going into a corner. So with the CS model, they pretty much revised the entire car. So what did they do to this car? They bumped up the horsepower to about 455 foot-pounds of torque. They revised the DCT dual clutch transmission. They put a 19-inch forged wheel in the front and a 20 in the rear, so it's got a different stagger similar to the G80s. They also changed the front end geometry, the shock tuning, and of course the electronic rear differential. And I'm going to tell you now, this car is one hell of a freaking performance package. And this is the last true M3 that should be on your shopping list, because it just has all the right ingredients to make it an exceptional, fun, and dynamic car. And on the CS models, if you guys know, they do a CS G80, and they did an M5 CS. So these are like their top of the line, highly tuned and revised models. The F80, in my opinion, it looks great. It was always a great looking car. I actually owned a mineral white 2015 six-speed, and I still think it's a very traditional M car. You know, you got the power bulge hood, you got the traditional grille. On this CS, we have the carbon fiber front splitter. This one's a little chewed up, but that's normal on these. You have the really nice M aerodynamic styled mirrors. You got the carbon fiber roof, and you also have the carbon fiber rear spoiler. Also, the hood is made out of carbon fiber as well. But overall, braking hardware on this particular one, we have the standard M3 F80, which is like the 4-piston front, 2-piston rear. Now, I believe over the years, I did see a carbon ceramic brake option on these cars, which is very, very rare. According to the specs, this was a tough sell for BMW. Why? Because this car, when it was new, was about $100,000. So compared to a typical F80 M3, it was a significant increase in price. And that's why, you know, this was a little bit of a tough pill to digest. And that's why, as much as I love to have one, I just didn't want to spend $100 grand on an M3, you know, back when this car came out. And it was also very, very hard to get with only 1,200 units made. Now, if you guys follow what's going on with, you know, lap times at the Nürburgring, this car actually lapped the Nürburgring at 7.38 minutes, which is super, super impressive. And you guys can compare that with the specs of the Giulia QV. But as far as what this car compares to, this is the only M3 that really compares to the Giulia Quadrifoglio in terms of the size, the dynamics, the rawness, the vibrations, the fun factor, the way you could toss it around, the turn in. Everything about this car dynamically is incredible. It's an incredible car, and I'm actually glad that I'm finally getting a chance to show it to you guys on the channel today. So we're gonna get the camera set up. We're gonna go for a little bit of a drive. We're gonna talk a little bit more about it, and really why, and emphasize why this is the last modern M3 worth buying. Listen, the G80, great car, great engineered car. It just doesn't have the character. Character in cars is really the sound, the vibration, the snap of the neck when it shifts. There's just a lot of things about these cars that adds to the driver excitement and the enthusiasm. The G80 is just so ultra refined, and it just takes a lot of that out of the driving experience. Of course, with the all-wheel drive and the automatic, this is a proper M3. Super, super well engineered. There's so much to it. I'll pop the hood. I'll show you exactly the power plant in this one. All right, guys, just pop the hood. We'll take a quick little peek. This is the BMW twin turbo S55 motor that they kind of boosted up the power a little bit, but it's just really cool. Some of the stuff that they did here with this carbon fiber bridged brace, everything is all triangulated to the firewall. Also, this is carbon composite, but you can see here, it doesn't have the twill weave. It's a little bit of a different manufacturing process. Probably saved them a lot of money doing it that way, but this is a composite hood. So you can kind of see here. So this car, we have the strength up here. We also have a full aluminum subframe. There's so much engineering that went into the F80, except the problem is they almost over-engineered a lot of the character out of the car. It was a little bit too heavy in the front end, a little bit too numb. The power came on too quick with the gearing, and the car would almost want to send you into a tree almost on every favorite back road. Now, this particular car, if you look here, we just put new tires on it. This has the Continental DWS, okay? So we got the Continental tires on here right now. We took off the Pilot Sport Cup 2s. The Cup 2s of this car are a little bit dangerous. The car is really quick. It's got about 460 horsepower, 455 foot-pounds of torque, but it's got soul, it's got character, and we're gonna strap the camera in. We're gonna go for a little bit of a drive. I'm gonna whip it, and I'll talk to you guys more about it. But number one, the reason why I'm doing this video is this particular M3 CS is for sale. So if anybody out there is interested in a black sapphire 26,000 mile BMW CS, the way it's set up, please send me an email through the Auto Fanatic website, and you guys could come down to the shop. You guys do your own inspection, take it for a road test, and we could discuss, see if we can put you into the driver's seat of this beautiful BMW M3 CS. I'll show you the interior real quick. All right, guys, just a quick little overview. So this car has extended leather. So there's leather all over the doors. We have the silver deviated stitching, Harman Kardon. This is a fully loaded car. Got the Alcantara CS specific steering wheel, which is really cool. Got this perforated top stripe. Also DCT only, that's the way the CS models came. You got the Alcantara throughout. Okay, also the sport seats are super comfortable. They've been using these for a number of years. I think this is a much better seat than the carbon buckets that they offer now. Something that I want to talk about, and I'll re-emphasize when we drive it, there is no center armrest storage. So when you actually are in the car, your arm tends to drop down and it almost feels a little funky. I think that was designed on purpose so you keep both of your hands on the steering wheel, because this car is a handful to drive. And we're going to strap the camera in. We're going to go for a little bit of a drive. We'll talk some more about the BMW F80 M3 CS in a couple of moments. All right, guys, this is going to be the little drive portion of the F80 M3 CS. So something that's really cool is that we have a bunch of buttons here. We could control the traction control system, the engine, the steering, the suspension, and also this button here. You hit it and it makes the DCT much more aggressive, very similar to the old SMGs, if you had like an E46 or an E60. So we're gonna go into, I'm gonna put the steering in Sport Plus, suspension in Sport, and then we're gonna put the engine into Sport Plus. So the one thing you'll notice, or I'll notice and kind of reiterate, is the actual physical size. We don't have the big goofy G80 screen. We don't have all this tech, you know, that's just driving. You just get in it. You have proper analog M gauges, very similar to like an E92. And this car is a freaking little monster, I'll tell you. Oh my God. I mean, you guys can hear it. This is bone stock. This car's not modified. But the dual clutch, that's what separates this car from the newer one. I feel that E-diff, oh my God. And the shifts are like violent, you feel them in your seat. So that's kind of like what I want to talk about, is why I feel this is the last M3 that actually has real character. Character to me is vibration, noise, feedback. It's got the handling. This little sucker is a blast, let me tell you. In my opinion, I think it actually sounds better than the G80 in a lot of ways, especially out of the box, you know. The G80 out of the box, they've like neutered those cars. They're so quiet, you don't get anything out of them anymore unless you do a full-blown exhaust like I did on mine. But I don't know, like I'm having fun. The whole point of having a car like this is you want to have fun. You want to be able to beat on it. Dude, that second gear shift is so violent because of the torque that this thing puts down. So like if you guys love an E92 M3, incredible car, one of my favorites of all time, it doesn't have a lot of torque. So you can kind of rip it. It's not the fastest thing in the bunch, but it's still a lot of fun because of the sound and the drama and the DCT as well. But the DCT in this CS, the way it's programmed, oh my God. This is what I like the 8-speed and the Alpha. It's a lot of fun because they really did a good job programming it, so it's aggressive. You kind of feel the shifts. That's what I like about it. But this is on another level. You get a little bit of burbles on the downshift. And of course I get behind a couple of Harley guys. One guy's on a trike. So I got to get away from these guys, otherwise I'm not going to be able to have any fun. Suspension is really stiff, but it's livable. I got to get away from these motorcycle guys. I don't know, I get nervous riding around, driving around bikes. Especially street bikes. But with the revisions to the front end of this car compared to a standard F80, it's literally like night and day. This car has an aggressive nature that it reminds me of a Giulia Quadrifoglio. Whereas the G80, it's got the tech, it's got the luxury, and it's just really toned down. It doesn't have that angry nature to it. And I just think that's what makes, you know, a car fun. It's got to have some character. This thing is a freaking riot, man, let me tell you. I just feel at home. I feel like the size of the car, it just works better for me. So this also is a smaller car than the G80. Red line's at $7,000, and it gets there quick. Broke the tires loose on that one. But you see, now if you were doing this in a standard F80 that wasn't the revision of the CS, there's a good chance you would feel the back of the back. I know, because I had one. The back of the car would feel so unstable under power. It was just some weird characteristic. It could have been the E-diff, the way it wasn't programmed, but I think a lot of it is the geometry changes. And this was like the last hurrah of the F80, and boy, oh boy, was this a good one. You know, I'm going to say it again, like this car, why this car should be on your hot list of shopping is because this car has a lot of special things about it in terms of the feel, limited production. This is going to be like the next E39 M5, the next E46 M3, E46 CS, you know. It just has that character. Whereas I don't think 15 years or 20 years from now, people are going to be collecting G80s. I don't see that ever happening. I just don't think the audience, it's a very different buyer audience between the two cars. But like I said, if this car wasn't $100,000 and impossible to get, I would have had one, because this car is incredible. So another thing too, this one is for sale, but if you guys are looking, if you ultimately want a 4-door high-performance sedan that's got character, that you could rip it on back roads, drive it daily. It's kind of like the one car that'll really do it all, and it's not too big. You can drive. It's also rear-wheel drive. We don't have that all-wheel drive nonsense. This is definitely going to be the one you're going to want. And being that it's a BMW, you have plenty of options to get it serviced. You don't have to worry about the Alfa Romeo dealer network. Plenty of aftermarket support. Plenty of independent shop support. So that'll make owning one of these a lot easier. This thing is so much fun. Passing power, incredible. Absolutely incredible. This little motor, man, it freaking screams. You can hear it. I mean, it rips. We got some induction noise. Yeah, this car is a fun little car, man. Oh, broke the tires loose there. Just gonna go on a little back road that I usually do some of my drive videos on. Another thing cool about the dual clutch, when you take your foot off the brake, it rolls back. You know, it's just, there's just cool things about that I enjoy in a performance car. As soon as you take away all of that and you ultra refine a car, now you neutered it. Yeah, this thing is a riot. Absolute riot. A very usable power band. The DCT is just awesome, the way it's programmed. Boom! The second and third, oh man, the shifts in this thing. When you're in full throttle, like you got your pedal down to the ground and you bang it, oh, this thing feels so good. This is the magic sauce right here, guys. Smaller car, good power, good programming of the chassis, a proper dual clutch. Man, this thing loads up awesome. Yeah, I know, I'm slowing down. Woo! Man. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If anybody out there watches this video, have you owned an F80 and have you owned an F80 M3 CS? And what did you transition to? Because I think if you go from this to the G80, you're gonna be really disappointed in a lot of ways. I don't know, it just has, they just got the steering right on this car. You know, the standard F80 was heavy, it was vague. You couldn't really feel what the front end was doing, but they fixed it on this one. You know, I always knew that this car had the potential to be great. And I'm so glad that years after it was introduced in 2014, they finally made this car great. And that's usually what happens. It's the swan song. When they're gonna kill off a car, they make the greatest and best version of it, and then you gotta struggle to try to get one over MSRP. I believe these were definitely going over MSRP. What a cool car, though. We got some water here. Gotta dry off the tires, otherwise I'll end up in a tree. But the shifts are so sharp, they're so progressive. And there's so, you know, the reaction between your fingers and what the car is doing, it's instantaneously. I mean, it's not a PDK on a Porsche. I mean, the Porsches are so fast and so refined. I actually like to feel the snap. I like to feel the jerk in the back of my seat. Once again, that's part of the character and soul that a performance car should have. As soon as you dial that back out, now you're taking everything away that drivers like us truly enjoy. You know, if we want to buy luxury, we'll buy a luxury car. But if you want to buy performance, you know, take out the sound deadening, make the transmission shift hard, make it loud, give it road noise, you know, make the chassis hard. Like, you hear that bump right there? I mean, it doesn't matter. That's what the car should do. That's exactly what it should do. Brakes are pretty good. They're not as good as the new M3. I'm going to tell you that now, but of course the hardware is significantly different on the new M3. But it's loaded up in that corner. Man, it just pulls through so sharp. So much confidence. And my heart is pumping, and that's what you want. When you get into a performance car or a car that you really love to drive, you want to get your heart rate going. You want to get a little bit of that anxiety. You want to have your palms sweat a little bit. You know, that's the whole fun of driving a performance car. You know, if you have a car that has nanny aids and it kind of saves your ass all the time, there's not a lot of fun in that. And we're on some nice little back roads, but I don't know, guys. I've been wanting to show this car for years on the Auto Fanatic channel. Fortunately, this car just happens to be my friend's car. He's selling it. And I said, let me grab it, let me wash it quick, do a video, and here's the video. But I'm going to tell you guys now, if you're looking for a really incredible package, F80 M3 CS. If you guys don't want to go down the road of the Alfa Romeo because you're scared of the brand integrity and the dealer network, I totally get it. But if you want something that's comparable in terms of giving you that special feel, that dynamic feel, this is the next best thing. It really is. I think the two cars back to back are probably the most comparable cars in the mid-size high performance segment. 100%. They just do everything so similar and they do everything so well. So once again, guys, thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if anybody out there is interested in an M3 CS, please contact me direct through the Auto Fanatic YouTube channel. and we could try to do a deal on this car for you. 26,000 mile, black sapphire, incredible condition, needs nothing, and this one is ready to go. So you see, I haven't put one of these things into reverse in a while. But look, see how it just rolls back? I'm gonna just do a little launch right here. Hold on. Speed checked by radar. Okay, here we go. Confirm. Okay, you ready? Oh my God. That's M2 mode. That's the way it's programmed. Oh, it feels even angrier. It feels even angrier right now. Oh man, this car is so good. No, we don't need cars like this, but we definitely want cars like this. With all this nonsense with the EV agenda, oh yeah, you're gonna be forced to drive a quiet electric car. Yeah, fuck that. Go pick up one of these if you can, and do it while you can. Because it's just too much fun not to. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned to the channel. There's gonna be more content. Oh man, I'm just having too much goddamn fun. Man, if I didn't have the Alpha, I would buy this car. I really would. That's how good it is. And I get to drive, and I've owned a lot of cars. This car is good. Wow. Whew. Get a little burbles. Oh my God. I wish you guys could actually come along, like physically come along for the ride. I try to do the best I can with these videos, but the elevation changes on these roads that I go on, you got it. It's just awesome. It really is. As soon as you go north of where I live, got some pretty cool roads. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one soon.